Hey guys, I'm Kyle from Apex Audio, and I wanted to take a little bit of time to go over some guidelines and best practices when you're sending your songs out for mixing and mastering. I've seen a little bit of everything, so I wanted to lay it out as clearly as I can, because when your recording is organized, you're organized, and your mixing engineer will be organized, and it'll make the final song come out so much sweeter. So before we get too far, essentially, you need a fully written song and it needs to be fully recorded out in your recording session. And guys, be honest with yourself as well. Only send off your tracks if you're 100% happy with how they sound already. All right, so when you have your fully written song, it's fully recorded, we want to start with some basic organization. What you're going to want to do is start with your basic session structure and make sure that all of your drums are grouped together, make sure all of your guitars are grouped together, just making sure that nothing is getting lost in your recording session. And then the next thing you're going to want to take care of is proper naming of all your tracks. So I don't want to see anything like audio 1, audio 2, audio 3, or anything like audio Derek 1, audio Derek 2, and for sure, I don't want to see anything like audio 99564-12 whatever .wave, right? We just want to see bass DI, and that's perfect for us. Finally, for organization, you want to make sure that each multi-track has the same start and the same end time in your session and when you bounce out the final files. After your session is organized, take a deeper look into each of your multi-tracks. For instance, you don't want any clipping on any of your multi-tracks. It's just an unnecessary pain, so try to leave something like 6 dB of headroom on each track. One thing to consider with each multi-track is any extra delays or reverbs or effects that you might have on top of the original recording. If you're not 100% sold on the way that it sounds the way it is, then send a dry version or a version with no effects to the mixing engineer as well. And then on a similar note, you want to try to have your mix bus processing turned off as well if you have any on. It just adds extra color and extra noise to your multi-tracks that you don't need when you're sending it off for mixing and mastering. And I think it's a good idea, but I think that you should bounce out your multi-tracks as stereo files. That way, anything in the stereo image, panning, reverbs, rooms, otherwise, will be retained. Okay, so when it actually comes to exporting each file, these are a couple good technical things to remember. Every engineer you work with is going to be a little bit different on how they want the files delivered in terms of bit depth and sample rate. Here's your best bet. So do 24-bit 48 kilohertz, and your next best bet is 24-bit 44.1 kilohertz. When you're bouncing out your multi-tracks, just keep them as a WAV file. Don't bounce out an MP3. You know, we can all do better than MP3, okay? And then finally, I think it's a really good idea to include a rough mixdown of your song, even if it's not the way you want it to sound for the release. What it does is it gives context to the small sounds or the kind of hidden elements of your song. All right, everyone, that is the full checklist. And if you followed through, then your session should be perfectly organized and ready for mixing and mastering. For more info on how to send your songs off for mixing and mastering, check out the full article on my Apex Audio website. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, have fun making some noise.